Yes, you've had some injuries. You probably realizing you're losing motivation. Like, what's the self-talk like? When do you get to the realization, like, I think I need to step away? Like, how does that look for you, and how tough was that?
Yeah, like crazy enough, it came probably a bit later in the story, or so I think yeah, after that 2015 season on that collarbone snap, which gave you well, it gets you a break and some time away, enough time to get you stoked again, and for me anyway, like just like eager to get back. And I think 2016 might have been one of my funnest year competing and just riding in general. So that year was maybe not the results I was looking for, but just never felt better on my bike. And yeah, I was able to film like a cool video with Canyon over in Canada with Nick Genovese, Mindspark Cinema, and also Dylan Dunkerton from the Coastal crew. And had like 3 days of solo riding for myself at the Coastal Gravity Park there in outside of Vancouver and on the Sunshine Coast, which was really cool. And then competing, and yeah, like I said, didn't get the results I wanted, and some events even just had silly crashes, and can't really put my mind to why that happened, but didn't think too much of it. And then yeah, finished off the season at the ninth event again, and was going for that transfer. They basically had like a huge left-handed quarter pipe to a bank here, and then a jump in the middle, and then a right hip here. And I went from the like left one and tried to go over the main jump and then into the right hip landing, and ended up overshooting at that massively. After my first try, almost casing, I was like, yeah, there's no way I can go too far. And then just took too much speed and pushed through a bit too much, and ended up breaking my neck, or at least fracture my C7. So that was probably the biggest injury I've had, although it was kind of a chill one. I got really lucky with it.
Yeah, but you fractured something, your bone in your neck.
Yeah,
Well,
C7.
that's super scary.
Yeah, crazy enough though. Like I just
Is that the one you were
stood
knocked
up from
out for as well? Or was that another crash?
other crash. I think somehow I don't think I really got knocked out. Like looking at the crash, it looks horrendous and like should have been a lot worse, I think. But I basically just stood up from the crash, like, oh, I'm fine, a little sore maybe, and just went to the hotel pool and later in the evening, and just went up from the pool and just flicked with my hair out of my face, and I was like, oh, that didn't feel great.
No
And
way.
yeah,
So you
next
didn't even
morning
know
when
you were hurt the whole
no, that
day.
I was fully convinced I was gonna go riding the next morning and get that transfer.
Shit.
So instead, I went to the hospital and got an X-ray, and I was like, "Yeah, you have a fractured C7 and also like some compressed vertebrae in your back." I was like, "Oh, wow, maybe I'm not riding today."
That is,
Yeah,
I mean, I'm not surprised. We would all do it. We're like, yeah, I think I'm
uh,
fine. You're so used to not feeling great anyway and riding through
right.
crashes, you know?
Yeah. So that was a big injury, and probably like to be honest, one of the most chilled ones because I just had a neck brace for a month and was able to do everything else. Like I couldn't ride obviously, but I wasn't like handicapped apart from not being able to like rotate my neck. But yeah, just healed from that. Took like probably 2 months on the day in total to get back on the bike and riding in the skate park again. But I think that's kind of where the what do you say, the wheels came off. I like uh although it kind of happened a bit later, when I look back on it, like I just same again, like having a break for 2 months, you're just so eager to come back and want to prove yourself, and just keen to get ready for the next season. So I think I kind of overworked myself in that season, just riding and training so much, and probably didn't get enough sleep to in order to recover. So definitely got a bit burnt out, and yeah, might have healed my neck injury, but definitely didn't like heal anything mentally, I think, in that process.
Yeah. So when you say it came further on, like what was happening? Like, did you just start becoming super unhappy with everything? Didn't want to pad up? Like, what does that look
Pretty
like?
pretty much, yeah. I just remember like, yeah, I don't remember exactly how and when it happened, but it was like going to the first event, which was white style for me that season in 2017, like the slope course on snow, and going there, like being super motivated in the off season, and then going there, I was like, yeah, not keen at all. And then the next event, kind of the same thing, like, I don't really want to be here, push myself in practice, and then having to ride this contest. And then I just pretty much went to all the events that year, not being stoked, and kind of felt like I didn't want to take the risk to push myself to like do the run that I'm capable of. So kind of just downgraded my riding a bit, and yeah, wasn't as stoked.
Yeah, I mean, it seems pretty natural though. Like it's not
Yeah,
that fun to risk all the time and have another injury if you've had these like injuries like quite a few seasons in a row now as well. Like as much as it gives
exactly.
you a break, it's still quite draining getting back from injury and getting touch on the bike again and all those things, you know?
Yeah, so that whole season was basically just like kind of being in a fog, just not knowing what's going on. Same again, like I had some talks with Martin, like, yeah, I can see you're not feeling it as you used to, and like just trying to help me out and like see what was going on. But also, I think I was kind of delusional at that time. Like, come on, I mean, I'm living the dream. Like, I'm like, how can I not be happy when I'm getting to ride my bike and just compete all over the world, right?
Yeah, I mean, same thing with Martin. It's like, dude, you've
Yeah,
got everything. You got all the sponsors. I always tease him like, you got the good looks, you got the girls if you need.
yeah,
Like, what do you mean? Like, but that is ironic, isn't it? Like, be careful what you
for
wish
sure.
for in life, and like, if you're not super aware of what's going on, then you make yourself feel worse, right? When you're like, but I should be feeling better because I've got all these external
Exactly.
things, right? That must be tough as well. Be like, shit, how can I not feel good when everything around me is good, looks good, you know? Money's coming in, sponsors still want me
Yeah,
around, traveling the world with my friends. Like, does it make you feel like something's like wrong with you?
totally. Yeah, like I said, kind of being delusional and not knowing what was going on. It's like it's pretty hard to like grasp what is actually going on. Like, why am I not feeling the way I usually feel? And like, yeah, it was really like weird time. I even like try to hit up some like professional psychologists and talk to them and try to like see what was going on, but didn't really feel like I got the help I needed or wanted. But also, it was pretty hard for them to help me when I didn't give them much to work with because I didn't I don't think I had like enough perspective to like know or tell them what they needed to have to work with me. But yeah, it was pretty rough time, definitely.
That's super interesting. You did reach out for help, and maybe they just didn't have the skill set and understanding, maybe to get the information out of you as well. Like, I don't know if you can be that hard on yourself that you didn't give it to them. Like,
Yeah,
if they don't
true. Yeah, it might have
understand the
just been a
sport, like, I've got a psychologist and a former BMX racer that's going to probably come on the pod again. Like, I'm just thinking, shit, that would be maybe, yeah, he's maybe like a sports psychologist, but he studies all this stuff. Maybe that's more of a guy that someone that's in this scenario would have to speak to, you know, like if you could do it all over again.
exactly. Yeah, totally. I think you're right. It might have just been like a poor match of like communication with the people I talked to.
Oh, 100%. Like even if, so I've been to therapy and call it life coaching, call it what you will. Like I don't mind speaking
Yeah,
about it after my dad passed. And
yeah,
I still go, like I'm okay with everything and I'll talk about whatever you want to talk about. And some people like to talk about it, some people don't. But I'm not with the same therapist I saw the first time when I was really going through grief because
yeah,
it's not a match. Like it might take you a few goes to find someone that you gel with, your style, you know, communication,
yeah.
like you say, or do you need them to give you more feedback? or do you want to be doing more of the talking? Like whatever it may be. So
Yeah,
I think I
totally.
understand it's not for everyone, and I'm not
Yeah.
forcing it on, but I think done correctly, it can be super powerful, you know, as like a life coaching thing.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. And yeah, I'm sorry to hear about your father. That's gnarly.
No, I mean, it's many years
Yeah.
now. And yeah, like I say, I like talking about it. For me, it helps. Some people are the
Yeah.
opposite, you know?
Yeah, I think that was my
but
problem in the beginning. Like, I didn't want to talk about it at all, and also didn't really know where to begin.